Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to today's Bhagavad Gita class. Today we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 16. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyana Salakaya. Chakshur Anmritanyana Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Marupistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisvamscha Sri Rupam Sagarijatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinutu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namusate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchagapdurubhisha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patinanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Parasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Iti Namne Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Padayane Gaura Kadadam Daya Nagaragrama Tarne Mukam Karoti Manchalu Pangulai Tigrim Yat Kripa Tamam Mande Sri Guru Dinataranam Paramam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Welcome everybody. Today we are reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, chapter entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge, text 16. Please repeat after me if you can. Aham kratur aham yajna aham kratur aham yajna swadhaham aham asudham Swadhaham aham au asudham mantroham aham evajam mantroham aham evajam aham agnir aham hutam aham agnir aham hutam aham kratur aham yajna Swadhaham aham as ausadham mantroham aham evajam aham agnir aham hutam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, I the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. Purport. The Vedic sacrifices known as Yotistoma is also Krishna, and he is also the Mahayagya mentioned in the Smriti. The oblation offered to the Pitra Loka or the sacrifice performed to please the Pitra Loka, considered as a kind of drug in the form of clarified butter, is also Krishna. The mantras chanted in this connection are also Krishna, and many other commodities made with milk products for offering in the sacrifice are also Krishna. The fire is also Krishna because fire is one of the 5 material elements and is therefore claimed as the separate energy of Krishna. In other words, the Vedic sacrifices recommended in the Karma Kanda division of the Vedas are in total also Krishna. Or in other words, those who are engaged in rendering devotional service unto Krishna are to be understood to have performed all the sacrifices recommended in the Vedas. I read the translation again. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. Hare Krishna. So this verse seems very difficult to understand, because there are very few verses in the whole of Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says aham so many times. So this aham means I. I means Krishna. So Krishna is saying here that the offering that is given to in the sacrifice is him. The ceremony itself is him. The prayers uttered to give to Krishna also is Krishna. And ultimately the result that comes from such offerings is also Krishna. So this is very difficult to understand, but if we see it from the correct perspective of how Krishna explains Bhagavad Gita here, then we will have a clear idea. So let me start by saying that this chapter is known as the most confidential knowledge. So the Acharyas, they have divided Bhagavad Gita in many sections, and one of the divisions that the Acharyas gave was three divisions: confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge, and most confidential knowledge. So the jewel of Bhagavad Gita is actually chapter 9. This chapter, the most confidential knowledge. So what are these division means? What is confidential knowledge? So confidential knowledge is the knowledge that Krishna explains in chapter 2. Yeah, Krishna explains to Arjuna that you are not this body, but you are the eternal spirit soul. So that is confidential knowledge. Confidential knowledge means the knowledge that you are the spirit soul and you are not this body. This is the very beginning of spiritual life. Ignorance of this understanding of this knowledge is the very beginning of problems in your life. As you can see, all the problems that we experience today is due to the ignorance of the fact that we are not this body, but we are greater than our material body. So that is first one, confidential knowledge. So the second one is called more confidential knowledge. Okay, more confidential knowledge means chapter 3 until chapter 6. Okay, more confidential knowledge is what do you call Mishra Bhakti. Mishra Bhakti means mixed devotional service. Mixed devotional service here means Karma Yoga, Gyana Yoga, Astanga Yoga. Okay, mix here means that devotional service is performed for the pleasure of Krishna, but this Mishra means that is not in its pure form, in a pure form. So the difference between Mishra Bhakti and pure Bhakti is that Mishra Bhakti is performed with some condition. For instance, for somebody who's practicing Karma Yoga, this person is performing devotional service. Krishna is not denying it. He is not saying that, oh, you're a bad person or what. No, you are performing devotional service, but your devotional service is with the condition that I will only perform certain activities as devotional service. Karma Yoga here is usually referred to those who are still attached to some kind of karmic activity. Those who are married, they have to take care of family, they have to take care of children, so they have to work, they have to earn money. So there is some attachment there to some sort of sense gratification. So therefore, the devotional service that they perform is mixed with some kind of attachment. So that is Karma Yoga. Then you have Gyana Yoga. Gyana Yoga is those who are attached to what they call mental speculation. They attach to mental speculation, and this if you mental speculate about transcendental subject matter, that is considered devotional service. Mm? If you mental speculate about stock market, and you mental speculate about the property market, you mental speculate about what what else, I mean, in this world, sense gratification, video games. This is all material, what they call, engagement. It doesn't really help you. Whatever result that come from it also is temporary. So those who are engaged in mental speculation, they are attached to performing devotional service only in regards to speculating about topic about Krishna. So that is Gyana Yoga. Then you have Astanga Yoga. Astanga Yoga is referring to those who are attached to ritualistic ceremonies that are recommended in the Vedas. So they will perform devotional service, yes, they do, but it's only restricted to that rituals, or they do meditation, or they do what they call a lot of attachment to ceremonies. So this is Mishra. It's mixed with either karma, jnana, or astanga, and this is in the category of more confidential knowledge. Mishra, Mishra Bhakti, and then you have the most confidential knowledge. Most confidential knowledge here is referring to pure devotional service. Okay, the difference between Mishra Bhakti and Ananya Bhakti, pure Bhakti, is that pure Bhakti is without any condition, no condition whatsoever. Aslisya padam ratam pinasumam adarsanam marma hatam kurutava yata tata abhabita tulampantu mat prananata suna evana paraha. In Sri Sastakam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives praise. Say, I worship you as my Lord, and I worship you without any condition. Even if you were to abandon me or hurt me, you will always remain my Lord unconditionally. So that is Ananya Bhakti. So this most confidential knowledge here is referring to Ananya Bhakti, pure Bhakti. So the proper understanding for all of us is that the very beginning of spiritual life starts with the understanding that we are not this body, we are the eternal spirit soul. So if you understand this, the next question is, what is the occupation of the spirit soul? For this body, I know what I need to do. I need to earn a lot of money, I need to eat, I need to have nice clothes, I need to have roof over my head, I need to take care of my health, like these kind of things. We know what to do with our body, but when we come to the realization that we are the spirit soul, then the question comes in, what do I do for my spirit soul? For this body, I got to eat, I got to bathe, I got to take care of my health, I got to exercise and all that. But for the spirit soul, what do I do? What is the occupation of the spirit soul? So the knowledge comes that, you have to perform devotional service. So the beginning of devotional service is to render everything that you do in the service of the Supreme Lord. So that's where the Mishra Bhakti comes about. That is more confidential knowledge. So more confidential knowledge fall in the category of Karma Yoga, Gyana Yoga, and Astanga Yoga. And when we come to more advanced stage, this more confidential knowledge, that is this Mishra Bhaktis, they are merely stepping stones. Stepping stone for you to come to the stage of pure devotional service. So once you are at the stage of pure devotional service, even in the stage of Mishra Bhakti also, when you perform it sincerely, you already have the inclination to want to do more and more for Krishna's pleasure, for the pleasure of Krishna, for the pleasure of his pure devotees, and that is what we must be hankering for. That is the goal of practically 99.9% of all Krishna Bhaktas, no matter from which sampradaya. That is the goal actually. Our goal is to come to the stage of we hankering to do more devotional service for Krishna, so that Krishna from within us will help us. Krishna says in chapter 10, text 8, 10 and 11. It says, Tesam satata yukta nam bhajanti priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upatyantite. Krishna says, I dwell in the heart of my devotees. I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. Okay, Krishna is saying here that Krishna is sitting within all our hearts, and He is just waiting for us when we will hanker, when we will desire to come to Him nearer, closer, and closer. So the purpose behind Mishra Bhakti is actually a stepping stone for us to come to the point of pure devotional service. So when we come to pure devotional service, which is this chapter 9, which is the most confidential knowledge, Krishna begins to explain to Arjuna about the characteristics of those who are performing Ananya Bhakti, pure Bhakti, Bhakti that is without any condition. So first Krishna talks about hearing about Krishna, qualification and disqualification. Okay, this is the first section from chapter 1 to chapter 3. And then Krishna comes to the section on Krishna's inconceivable relationship with the material world. Then after that Krishna explains about non-worshippers and worshippers. Okay, the famous verse from this section is the text 14. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha tadavrda namasyantascha bhaktyam nitya yukta upatsate. So this verse, always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So this is one of the qualification of those who are performing Ananya Bhakti. They're coming to the stage. And then in this section, Krishna explains to Arjuna that there are many people who approach Krishna. Okay, first category that Krishna talks about is those who are pure devotees, like the one we just read. Satatam kirtayanto mama, always chanting my glories, always bowing down, worshipping me with love and devotion. So this is the first category. The second category Krishna talks about are those who are atheists, who don't believe in Krishna at all. They approach Krishna, but they approach Krishna with the intent to deny them. These are the duskritas, the what do you call, the foolish mudas, the asses, the unintelligent, those who engage in atheistic activities, engage in the culture of demons. So these are the main two extremes, and this verse here is talking about the third kind. The third kind Krishna talks about is somebody in the middle. He's not a pure devotee and he's not a Nastigan also. He's not an atheist. He's not envious of Krishna. Somebody in the middle. So this verse here is explaining, Krishna is explaining about those who are neither pure, neither Nastigan. They're in the middle. And for those in the middle, there are three kinds. Okay, there are three kinds. The first kind is, Krishna described them as Ahankara Upasana. Okay, Ahankara Upasana. The second kind is Prakriti Upasana. Okay, Prakriti Upasana. The third kind, Krishna is explaining, is saying they are known as Vishwarupa Upasana. So the first kind, those who are Ahankara Upasana, Krishna is explaining that these people, they worship themselves as God. They worship themselves as God. Krishna is accepting them as transcendentalists also. Can you imagine that? See how I mean, if you don't have any mercy from a pure devotee, you will not be able to understand this at all. Those who worship themselves as God, meaning they are known as Mayavadis. In the whole of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada talks a lot about these Mayavadis. Mayavadis, they are known as offenders of the Supreme Lord. But somehow or other, even though they are offenders, even though as new devotees like us, we should be very careful not to associate with them. Even though these people are offenders of Krishna, but yet they are more fortunate. They are more fortunate, and they are more able to have a chance of associating with a pure devotee and becoming a pure devotee and becoming liberated. There are books written by acharyas like Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It's written like a novel. It's like a storybook. And the plot of that Jaiva Dharma is one Mayavadi sannyasi approaches a Vaishnava, and he surrenders to the lotus feet of this Vaishnava. So there's a good chance also. So these are the Mayavadis. These people all, they misunderstand the philosophy of Bhagavad Dharma by thinking that Krishna says that um, uh, all living entities have the same qualities that Krishna has. All living entities have the same qualities as Krishna. So they mistakenly think that if I got Krishna's quality, therefore I am Krishna, I am God, which is actually a wrong way of thinking. The correct way to think is, yes, we have Krishna's quality, but we cannot compete with Krishna in quantity. Okay, Krishna is known as Bhagavan. Bhagavan means the one who possesses all opulences. Okay, this is one of the criteria of Krishna being Bhagavan, being God, being the all supreme personality of Godhead. He possesses all opulence. There's 6 kinds of opulence: all beauty, all riches, all knowledge, all strength, all fame, and then all renunciation. So, but what about us living entities? Do we possess all the opulence? No, we might possess some of the opulence. The most we can is we can maybe possess 1 or 2 of them. For instance, the richest man in the world, he only possesses riches. He is not the most intelligent. He is not the most beautiful. He is not the most strong. But he only possesses only one of the opulence. That is, he has the most amount of wealth among us human beings on this planet. Okay, so we cannot say that we are equal to God. We cannot be equal to God. We cannot be equal to Krishna. Of course, this is one of the qualification of Krishna being God. The most highest qualification of Krishna being God. He is the reservoir of all pleasure. He is the among devotees, the quality that is very respected by devotees is Akila Rasamrita Murti. Krishna is the only personality in this whole of creation that can reciprocate with you in loving devotion in any way that you approach it. So among devotees, they like this side of it. They're not so much interested in his wealth, his greatness, his opulence. Not so much. Okay, so those who are ahankara upasana, they wrongly think that because I have Krishna's quality, the God's qualities, therefore I am God. So these are the people that say, so I am God, you are God, he is God, the tree is God, the cat is God, the dog is God. So they talk like this. So Krishna says these people are among this one in the middle, they are the lowest. The second one are those who are known as Prakriti Upasana. Prakriti Upasana is those who worship the demigods. Those who worship the demigod. They recognize that beyond themselves there are authorities that govern this universe. So these are the devas. So Krishna says these pillars are a bit more better than those who are those in the category of Mayavadis, those who say that I am God. You see, these people, they understand. Oh, I'm small, and there is those who are above me, who are more qualified, more what they call exalted. So I should worship them. Okay, so the thing about those who worship devas is the tendency of those who worship devas is that they worship devas for some temporary material gain. They are worshipping the devas because it is easy to get some material profit. Like you want a big house, or you want lots of money, or you want nice family, you want nice children. Like this, you approach the devas. And Krishna says is nothing wrong in that, but to approach them for temporary material things is not very intelligent. Uh, that's all Krishna says. Krishna says it's not wrong. These devas are his devotees. They are Vaishnavas also. So we Vaishnavas, we pay respects to the devas because they are great servants of the Supreme Lord Sri Vishnu. We see Vishnu as not different from Krishna. So as Vaishnava devotees, we give respects to devas also. And the third category, which Krishna says is the highest among these three, is those who are Vishwarupa Upasana. These people are the ones Krishna is referring here in this verse. Krishna is referring to them as those who worship the Vishwarupa form of Krishna. So this Vishwarupa form of Krishna is referring to those material elements in this universe that represent Krishna. In chapter 7, chapter 9, chapter 10, Krishna will refer to himself as the greatest in nature. For instance, if when you see the ocean as a great body of water, Krishna says, I am that sea. Of all the mountains, the greatest mountain is Mount Meru. Krishna says, I am that Mount Meru. Of all great warriors, I am Kartikeya. Of all aquatics, I am the shark. Of all celestial planets, I am the sun. Like this, Krishna is referring to him as the whatever that is greatest in nature, that is his energy. That is only but a small tiny spark of his energy. And people who worship this, like worship the sun, worship the moon, or worship what they call the sea, according to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, these people are the highest in terms of worship compared to those who are worshipping devas, those who and also those who are Mayavadis. Krishna is saying these people who are worshippers of the Vishwarupa form of the Supreme Lord is the highest among these three. So how to understand this? The best explanation I can come to is that somehow or other you will notice that if a person comes to the understanding that this nature has been created by a superior being, okay, and the devas don't claim that, oh, I am the one who created the sun, I am the one. No, nobody claims, not even Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma himself says that I am merely a servant of that who is the original creator. He is the secondary creator. Okay, the devas don't claim that they created this material world. They say we are simply for carrying out the order of Sri Krishna. That's all. So if somebody worships material nature with the understanding that there is a superior being above the devas that have created this, somehow or other, these worshippers, they have a level of sincerity within them whereby their worship is a bit more sincere. They worship the material nature without asking anything in return. See, those who are worshipping devas, their problem is they constantly hankering for other kudanga, either kudanga, give me this, give me that. I want promotion, I want money, I want to win lottery. Oh, I want to become famous. Oh, I want big family. I want children. I want children who are very intelligent. Oh, their demands keep getting more and more and more and more. That is the problem with those who worship devas. That's the only problem, actually. Other than that, deva worshippers, they are perfectly fine. Those who sincerely worship anyone, they would inquire as to what are the instruction of the Ishtadeva. Those who are sincere will come to the point in their intelligence. They will ask, actually, I've been worshipping Lord Muruga or Durga Ma or Ganapati or Lord Shiva. They have instruction for me and all. if they come to this stage, then they will become Hare Krishna devotees. That's how it happens. A lot of devotees in Hare Krishna around the world, they all came from somewhere. And usually, when they inquire intelligently, they get intelligent answers and they will come to the platform of performing loving devotional service to Krishna. So, those who are worshipping the Supreme Lord in the form of this material nature, what happens is they come across as being a bit more sincere. They somehow they are more, they don't demand, they don't ask, "Adu kudunga, idu kudunga, this, that." They just have faith that I just continue to worship the Supreme Lord in this form, and everything will be okay, everything will be fine. So, because of that, Krishna says these people who are worshippers of Krishna in the Vishwarupa form. Vishwarupa here is because when Arjuna requested Krishna to show his Vishwarupa form, Krishna showed him the form, and Arjuna became frightened when he saw the Vishwarupa, the universal form. Why? Because in one place, Krishna has assembled all the opulence in the whole of creation in one place for Krishna to for Arjuna to view. So when Arjuna saw this, he became frightened. Oh, this is so frightening, it's so ghastly, and Arjuna prayed to Krishna, please show your two-handed Shama Sundara form. This universal form is very frightening. Please, show me this form. So I was thinking to myself, what is the lesson in this section of Bhagavad Gita for us? Immediate lesson here that I can think of is that whenever you approach the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna in a sincere mode, of course, sincere mode here is means what it means for us new devotees, neophyte devotees, is that we approach Krishna with the intent to understand what Krishna wants. We approach Krishna with the intention of understanding what Krishna wants. If we can try to understand what Krishna wants us to do, what Krishna wants from us, I consider that the very beginning of a successful spiritual life. Sometimes it might take a bit of struggle. There is nothing in this world that is easy, that is worth having, that is easy. So for achieving the sincere loving devotional service to Krishna, association of devotees is very, very crucial. Association of devotees is very crucial. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described there is two kinds of association. One is Vani and one is Vapu. Okay, Vapu is referring to physical association. Physical association here is not devotees get together and then say, "Ipadipa, sapaducha." Not that kind of association. Association here means is we come together to perform loving devotional service for our Guru and Krishna. We come together to perform devotional service, do some activity, do something, not talk nonsense. Talk. How was your vacation? Okay, No, not that kind of association. That kind of association is useless. So that is to come together. So that is Vapu. Then there is another kind of association called Vani. Vani means to follow the instruction of Sri Guru. Okay. So between Vapu and Vani is the most important. Vani is most important. So in this connection, there is one very nice pastime with regard to Vapu and Vani. This story is with regards to Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Gopala Bhatta is one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So the story of Gopala Bhatta is that Gopala Bhatta, at the age of I think 3 or 4 years old, Gopala Bhatta had a very great fortune of associating with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gopala Bhatta, at that time when he was a child, he was in Sri Rangam. He was living in Sri Rangam with his father, Venkata Bhatta. Venkata Bhatta, the father of Gopala Bhatta, he was the temple president of Sri Rangam temple at the time. Okay, so when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing the South India tour of what do you call South India, when he came to Sri Rangam temple, he saw what do you call Balaji. He saw Ranganath. Krishna, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went into ecstasy and he was chanting, and like that, Mahaprabhu fainted in ecstasy. So when all the brahmanas at the temple looked at this sannyasi, they thought, "Oh, this is not a normal, ordinary person. Look at him; he's effulgent, he's glowing." So they quickly ran. They told the temple president. Temple president Venkatapata quickly came to the temple and saw this sannyasi lying on the floor in front of Balaji, in front of Ranganath, and he said, "Oh, this is not a ordinary person. Please carry him carefully, bring him to my house. I'll take care of him." So when Mahaprabhu was brought to Venkata Bhatta house, that time was the beginning of Chaturmasya. So in India, Chaturmasya is the 4 months of rainy season in India. So when rain comes, usually sannyasis like that, they don't travel from one place to another because it becomes very difficult. You get wet, and all that. So usually what sannyasis do is they will stay in one place. Usually they'll stay in a temple or they'll stay in somebody's house as a guest. So Mahaprabhu, Chaturmasya started, he was in Venkata Bhatta house, and in that house was this 3 or 4 year old Gopala Bhatta. He was at that time a very small boy. So for 4 months, every single day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate his food, and Gopala Bhatta was the one that came to serve him. And every day he got Maha Prasad from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every day for 4 months. Young boy, 3 or 4 years old. From the moment he laid his eyes on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his heart fell in love with him immediately. So Mahaprabhu for 4 months, actually for 5 months Mahaprabhu stayed there for 5 months. Why? Because in that time, everybody in the family of Venkata Bhatta, they just, in their heart, they have surrendered their heart and soul to Mahaprabhu. So after 4 months was over, he was about to leave. They cried to him, "So please, sir, don't leave. Stay for a little while longer." So Mahaprabhu stayed for another month. So it was 5 months. So after that 5 months, what happened was, finally, when Mahaprabhu was about to leave, Gopala Bhatta fell at the feet of Mahaprabhu. He says, "Please take me with you. Please take me with you." He says, the purpose of life is to render loving devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are to me the Supreme Lord. You are the personification of prema. So please take me with you. This was a small boy. Can you imagine? 3, 4 years old. And Mahaprabhu looked at Gopala Bhatta and said, "No, this is not the time. This is not the time. You stay here. Your parents are old. You take care of them until they leave this earth. When they leave this earth, you straight away go to Vrindavan. You go to Vrindavan, and in Vrindavan, I've arranged that Rupa and Sanatan will greet you and they will take care of you." Okay. So this is what Gopala Bhatta did. He was a 3, 4 year old boy. He received this instruction. This is Vani, instruction from his guru, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He received Vani. He already got Vapu already. 5 months association with him, feeding him, taking Mahaprasad, taking the remnants of his food. He was so purified and so surrendered that he was willing to give his life to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's what he did, his whole life until he became a young man. I think it was about almost 20 years like that. He took care of his parents. He made sure very carefully he didn't get married. They were forcing him, "No, get married, nice girl, and all this, that." And he said, No, it's okay, never mind. I don't get married, because he has a purpose in life. He already got his instruction. His instruction is to, after everything is over, parents all passed away, everything done already, taken care of, I must go to Vrindavan. So when finally his parents passed away, Venkata Bhatta and his father and mother passed away, he immediately just straight away went to Vrindavan. At that time, Mahaprabhu was still in Jagannath Puri and he was performing pastime there. And Gopala Bhatta knew about this. He could have easily said, what's the harm? I go to Jagannath Puri first, I go and see Mahaprabhu, I see his wonderful pastime, and then after that I get satisfied, I can go to Vrindavan. He could have thought like that, but no, he didn't do that. He didn't do that because he kept this Vani, the instruction of Mahaprabhu in his heart so much, so carefully that he says, whatever happens, I have to follow my Guru's instruction. So at that time, knowing that Mahaprabhu is in Jagannath Puri and Vrindavan actually at the time was not very far apart. If you were to walk, you would have taken a few months. And that's what he was going to do only. From South India, he was going to walk all the way to Vrindavan. And then, if he decided, he can go to Jagannath Puri also. But he didn't do that. He just followed his instruction and he straight went to Vrindavan. When he arrived in Vrindavan, Rupa and Sanatan were there. They saw this Gopala Bhatta. Mahaprabhu instructed us, yes, there will be one young boy by the name of Gopala Bhatta. He'll be coming and you must take care of him. When he came to Vrindavan, the amount of love and affection that Rupa and Sanatan showered upon this Gopala Bhatta was like, he was melted, his heart melted. So the moment he arrived, Rupa and Sanatan quickly wrote a letter to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. He said, Gopala Bhatta has arrived. I want to let you know Gopala Bhatta has arrived. When Mahaprabhu received this letter, Mahaprabhu at that time was eating. He was about to have prasadam. Mahaprabhu got this letter and he was so much happy, so much in ecstasy, he just could not eat. Immediately he went and wrote a reply letter back to Rupa and Sanatan. He says, I am so happy, I am so glad, please take care of him. And he gave instruction to Rupa and Sanatan. He says, eventually you must encourage Gopala Bhatta to give initiation, to preach and to give initiation. And with that letter from Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu sent him as gift, sent Gopala Bhatta a gift, a set of kopin, old shawl of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and a wooden seat, a small wooden seat whereby Mahaprabhu will sit on it. These are the three gifts: a set of kopin, what they call old, used, very ragged woolen shawl, and a wooden seat. So those days, the kopin, Mahaprabhu, even in his time, he used to tear the kopin to strings, and he used to give that as prasad to his followers, and he will tell them, say, tie that on your head. This prasad will purify you of all lustful desires. Whatever lust you have will be purified from you. So when Gopala Bhatta received such a gift, the first thing he did was he put it on his head. He tied it, this kopin of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He tied it on his head. This is prasad. And he was so grateful. And eventually what happened was, this Gopala Bhatta was very, very important in Gaudiya Vaishnava history, is because Gopala Bhatta was a very great expert in Sanskrit editing. He was a genius actually. He knows many, many languages. So all the books that Goswamis wrote, the person that proofread it and made it very wonderful was this Gopala Bhatta. So his whole life was strictly to follow the Vani of his Guru, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is described that the what you call the instruction and service that Gopala Bhatta gave to Rupa and Sanatan was his life heir, and the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessing him with a deity of Radha Ramana, that was his life and soul. So this is a very good example of how we should be very, very focused on Guru's instruction. Srila Prabhupada gave a very nice class once. And he explained there that he received instruction from Bhakti Sananta Saraswati Thakur to go and preach in the Western world. So Srila Prabhupada explained, actually, he says, I have got no qualification. What qualification do I have? I was never interested in writing, but because my guru asked me to preach in the English language, I had to learn how to write nicely. And my whole life, I've only tried to please my guru by following his instruction. So this following instruction is very, very important, and that is actually the conclusion of this chapter, chapter 9, whereby Krishna tells Arjuna this very, very famous verse. This verse is repeated twice in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9 and chapter 18. So this verse is text 34, chapter 9. Krishna says, Manmana bhava madbhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru mam eva yasi yuktaidvam atmanam madparayana. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. That's the only way it will happen. If we take the instruction and we make it our life and soul. Hare Krishna, I'll end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.